So the reason I'm giving this talk today is because I announced last time I started to write a book, and this book is about how you can impact the world in giving the tools to have projects around the SDGs, to fight demotivation, depression, anxiety, and purpose. So the topic now that I realize, and a lot of people can't really answer it, is how you find your passion. Right? It's actually not easy at all. And I want to blog about this next Sunday. How to find your passion. Why do I think this topic is interesting? I found a study that is actually here. It's the Deloitte study. I printed it here and I want to read it. I didn't read it fully, but there is an interesting graph, and only 13% of the US workforce is passionate about the work. Passionate and engaged. There is 27%, something like that, they are okay, and 67% don't like the job. So how many of you don't like the job? How many of you like the job and passionate about? And actually, there is no surprise that you are both the average, because I knew that you were passionate working at UCSF, but a lot of people fight to just leave for a living, and they just don't like the job. But what I realize is innovation starts actually with people's ideas and creativity, curiosity. And if they're not passionate, how do you want to innovate? So actually innovation maybe start with finding your passion. That's why this topic interests me a lot. And there's not only that, but there's another study that I found, and high-performing people, so we talk about productivity, is talent, right? The skills you get, but it's when you engage a lot and when you have a lot of experience. So engagement relates to passion. And then employee who engage, they are 70 times more likely to report excellent performance. So everything is related to performance, innovation, engagements, happiness at work, and more. But then I was like, all right, how do you find your passion? So I did a little survey, and the survey was with my roommates and people that I asked around. I said, how do you find what you love? And what is very funny is that a lot of them had very interesting answers, but one that intrigued me. Why is it so hard to find your passion? So I asked them, how do you do? And one said, gut feeling. Like, all right, kind of cool, but how do you implement that? It's not really helping. The other one said, experience. All right, but doesn't really help people, right? Suffering. Through suffering, you find what you love. I said, this is an interesting answer. Another one say wisdom, experience. The more you do, the more you know. I say, okay. My own take on that was that you have to ask the people what they do, and when they inspire you, it means that you may be passionate about their work. But then one guy gave me that answer, and I love it. So take a piece of paper and a pen, if you have a little bit, and draw 4 cycles that are interconnected. 4 exactly. So actually, 4 like this, and this.
Like this? Oh, okay.
No, I don't even know. Yeah, it's like a Venn diagram. Yeah, kind of. So I knew that you will struggle. It can be like this or like that, right? So not top left, you write things down so it's your environment during your childhood. Top left. Top right is what is the compliments you receive from strangers. Every compliment, you write it down, blah, blah, blah. Bottom right, what is the things you were doing for the past years? What were you doing, right? Even if you don't like it, doesn't matter. What were you doing the most during the last 10 years? And bottom left, what do you talk effortlessly Saturday night with friends? Is it politics? Is it history? Is it languages? Is it whatever, right? And then you write it down, you do all the stuff. And what is in the middle could be your passion. So let's say a guy sells shoes, he doesn't like it, right? But then he realized that he's good at tennis. Then he realized the environment was sport. And then he realized that he's talking about that all the time Saturday. Maybe I should sell tennis shoes, right? And that's already closer to your passion, even if you cannot do passion for a living, which is hard. So I found that was an amazing answer for finding a passion, and really a tool you can actually implement in your life. But now, what is the conclusion of all that is we live in a world where there is so much distraction. There is tons of things we can do, so many jobs are new, and it's very hard to pick, right? But there is another theory that there is only 5% where people can be the best at. So basically, if you want to be a singer, it's only the top 5% singer that made it to the top. So the second thing is finding something that you can be really good at, the best at. And here's an example, Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan was the best at basketball, he's a legend, everyone remember him, and there's no discussion about that. He was one of the best players of the world. But he tried baseball, he thought I can be the best at baseball. What happened? It was terrible. So if Michael Jordan, that had all his talents for basketball, was not able to apply mastery in another field, what makes you believe that you can be good at anything, right? So you can't. So you have to find this passion with this model or with another one that you can find, but I think this one is really easy that everyone can implement, and finding what you can be the best at. So that's my take on that. Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed it.